It takes courage to admit failure, to recognize where you went wrong, to think of just how you could do better by those you've spited with your work, a special kind of courage that those in power and those who educate and entertain refuse to have, which spells trouble for Western civilization and humanity in general. When Sakurai stated that every fighter was to be made from scratch for the fighter pass, it was expected that they would be of high caliber, worthy of Smash proper. Banjo and Kazooie fit this mold well for the autumn offering, but summer's newcomer?
I am so disappointed with Erdrick. I'm a fan of reusing animations when it makes sense. It saves time and allowed everyone to come back. But Hero, as I have to get used to calling him now, had development time devoted to making him, was lauded as a character they developed from scratch, had all the potential to blow my mind, and ended up as an ugly amalgamation of the rest of the roster.
Yikes. Guess I have a new project to work on.
There's no rest for a Jontron, is there? There's no rest.
Key plus 3 and counting. Hailing from the 5th installment of the Dragon Quest series, Hand the Heavenly Bride, Madason is not another sword fighter, nor the main hero of the game, both honors going to his son Perry, but his journey across 2 decades have been the most unique narratives in the franchise's history, being grandiose enough for a feature film in August. Not to mention the critical acclaim the game and its characters have garnered over the decades since its release, even earning a remake on the DS to precede its soon-to-be-born sibling at the time, Sentinels of the Starry Skies. I'm going to skip the attributes because no doubt they will match his Smash-bound peers Erdrick, Solo, Adrian, and Malik from 3, 4, 8, and 11 respectively. So we're gonna move on ahead to the basic attacks, wherein all the attacks that involve a sword are replaced with whaps of his staff. Mainly his jabs, his tilts, to his aerials and dash, but not his smash attacks. This is where his central gimmick comes into play. For another thing that Dragon Quest V innovated is the monster taming feature that has since appeared every now and again in the games themselves, even inspiring Pokémon, one of the biggest franchises in Smash. As examples of such skills, we now present the man's Smash attacks, which feature a few of the monsters you can add to your party. But I must warn you, since there's already a slime moveset out in the wild, thank you BJ, there will be no slimes allowed in Madason's moveset. With that said, his up smash summons a Burr Baby that spikes his edges upwards and explodes at a full charge. Side smash summons a Legionnaire to thrust its spear forward, and for the down smash, a Golem appears to slam the ground on both sides. The monster sent to grab foes from afar is the Flatulent Ferret, who wraps its body around foes for Madason to pummel with his staff, unfurl throws for forward throw, and whip fling for the back throw. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to pop in since I forgot to voice the up and down throws, which are a ghost doing a jump scare and a time burn exploding in an opponent's face, respectively. Sorry if I couldn't catch this mistake on site. I'm still improving on the whole being on a schedule thing, so take it easy, alright? Alright, back to you, Robin. And now we're closing in on the specials. And while it could be easy to just copy and paste the specials from his peers, it wouldn't exactly be the Sakurai thing to do. Thus, Madason will be packing in a few more monsters into his special moves for his magical needs, each monster having their own well of 50 MP, with the exception of his loyal feline companion Saber, who Madason mounts as his side special. Also noteworthy about how the magic works is that the standard and down special functions in a pattern specific to the corresponding monster. For the standard special, Madason summons a Wax Murderer to cast the pattern of Frizz, Crack, Zap, Crack, and back to Frizz to start the cycle over and over. Frizz costs 2 magic points, 3 for Crack, and Zap costs 4. This is good for a good 4 cycles, with 2 MP left over for a little something extra. Madason's recovery summons a Will-o'-the-Wisp to cast Whoosh or Zoom. Former functions like my up special Ladder works like pits, as you promptly see when you press up B again after casting Whoosh. Finally, the down special is a special sort of counter, one with a rotation of spells fitting a specific schedule. Doesn't that sound familiar? The main difference here is that the bag of laps needed to cast said counter spells will only appear when an attack lands on the counter. Getting to the spells themselves, the first two are unique to Smash, Humph and Pounce. Humph being a combination of heal and oomph, which heals 30 HP and adds to one's attack power, whereas Pounce is Humph, but replaces oomph with bounce to reflect projectiles at 3 times the speed. From there, the pattern goes bounce, heal, oomph, and then goes in reverse all the way back to Humph, before using the last of our MP for one last Kamikaze, which works just as it does with Marek, Erdrick, Solo, and Adrian. Closing in on Madason's final smash, it's only fitting that the Zenith Dragon would swoop into the fray to assist him, manifesting initially as Dr. Agon right beside companion Sancho, latter of which rides onto Saber as the beast propels himself swiftly towards the targets. From there we get a fancy little cutscene that sees the Zenith Dragon soaring by the castle, which has served as the centerpiece of the Zenithia trilogy for all 3 of its entries, before breathing fire onto those ensnared by Saber's lunge, launching foes skyward and insta-killing foes whose damage exceeds the 100% threshold established in Ultimate for this sort of thing. But for every Bandana D, there is a Son Goku. Where exactly does Madason fall on this spectrum? On the one hand, this man has some decent potential, attacking with a staff like Palutena before him, whilst also assaulting with an ensemble of monsters at his beck and call. This variety in combat strategy can best provide us with the most unique Dragon Warrior that the Order of Erdrick has produced thus far. On the other hand, Smash has had this unwritten rule of 1 fighter per third-party franchise, with the 2 exceptions being echoes of their main fighter. And the gimmick of monsters fighting right beside a human character is a concept that would be better suited for a potential newcomer from the very franchise Madason's game ironically inspired. Sure, Sakurai could surprise us by announcing Tails or even Tifa for one of the last 2 slots on the fighter pass to pull the rug from under us as he's done time and time again, but for the time being, Madason's potential at getting in seems rather muddy at best. In the very least, his inclusion could at least add 2 new alts to the slot reserved for the hero, though they will have to be aged up to fit the skeletal structure. Teenaged Madchen, anyone? Well, that was a shorter wait for a new video than expected. Perhaps I'm getting back into the swing of things. What do you guys think? Like, favorite, and subscribe if you wish to see more of this content, and be sure to leave a comment of which fighter you would love to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next project, the workshop's closed.